Hello everyone, myself Bhautik Trivedi, working as an assistant professor in IT/ICT department of LJ Institute of Engineering and Technology. I will explain you the concept of intra-domain routing and inter-domain routing in advanced networking protocol subject. So let's start with the concept of intra-domain routing. So first of all, what do you mean by intra-domain routing? So intra-domain routing means whenever you perform the routing within an autonomous system. So you can directly say that you can directly ignore the internet outside the autonomous system. So intra-domain routing that supported the different protocols. The different protocols of the intra-domain routings are called as IGP. So what is the meaning of IGP here? IGP means Interior Gateway Protocol. So first category, must remember this thing, intra-domain routing, that is also known as Interior Gateway Protocol. Second one, that is known as a inter-domain routing. But what's the example behind the intra-domain routing? So two examples of the intra-domain routing, one that is known as a RIP and second one that is known as a OSPF. So what is the full form of RIP? Routing Information Protocol, and OSPF means Open Shortest Path First. Next one, that is the inter-domain routing. So inter-domain routing, so what is the meaning of inter-domain routing? Inter-domain routing means routing between an autonomous system. Must remember one thing, what is the difference between inter-domain routing and intra-domain routing? Intra-domain routing within an autonomous system, inter-domain routing between an autonomous system. So here you just see inter-domain routing is also known as EGP, that is known as a Exterior Gateway Protocol. And the examples of the inter-domain routing, that is known as a BGP, and full form of BGP, that is known as a Border Gateway Protocol. So up to this, at least you know the two important points. First one, that is known as a intra-domain routing. Second one, that is known as a inter-domain routing. So intra-domain routing supported the two protocol. First one, that is known as a RIP, and second one, that is known as a OSPF. Inter-domain routing supported one protocol, that is known as a BGP, that is the Border Gateway Protocol. After that, the next important point regarding this, that is the difference between inter-domain routing and intra-domain routing. So let's start with this difference number one. Difference number one for the intra-domain routing and inter-domain routing. So here you just see, whenever you talk about the intra-domain routing, so routing algorithm works only within the domain. That is the concept behind the intra-domain routing. Inter-domain routing means what? So routing algorithm works only within and between the domain. The major difference between the intra-domain and inter-domain is that intra-domain routing works within an autonomous system, within an domain, and inter-domain routing that works within and between the domain and between the autonomous system. So that is the difference number one. Difference number two, what is the meaning of difference number two? Here you just see, first of all, intra-domain, and second one, inter-domain. So here it need to know only about other routers within their domain, and here it need to know only about other routers within and between their domain. That is the most important thing. So here fully focus on within their domain concept, and here fully focus on within and between their domain. Difference is number three. Difference number three for the intra-domain and inter-domain. So here must remember one thing, whatever the protocol used in a intra-domain routing, that is known as a concept of IGP, that is the Interior Gateway Protocol, and whatever the protocols used in a inter-domain routing, that is known as a EGP, that is known as a Exterior Gateway Protocol. Difference is number four between intra-domain and inter-domain routing. So here, whatever the routing take place within an autonomous network, that is the intra-domain routing, and routing take place between an autonomous network, that is the concept of inter-domain routing. That is the difference number four. Next one, that is the difference number five between the intra-domain and inter-domain routing. So must remember one thing, intra-domain routing protocol ignore the internet outside the autonomous system, and inter-domain routing that supported the internet, and that is the collection of different interconnected autonomous system. That is the difference number 5. And difference number 6, that is the difference number 6. Again I repeat, popular protocols for the intra-domain routing. First one, that is the RIP, that is the routing information protocol, and second one, that is the OSPF, that is the open shortest path first. And popular protocols for the inter-domain routing, that is known as a BGP, that is known as a border gateway protocol. So that is the differences between the intra-domain and inter-domain routing. So up to this, whatever the discussion, first one, that is the definition of intra-domain routing, second one, definition of inter-domain routing, and third one, difference between intra-domain and inter-domain routing. After that, the most important concept, again two important routing types, one that is known as a static routing and second one that is known as a dynamic routing. So let's start with the concept of static routing. So what is the meaning of static routing here? So static routing means what? So here you creating a static routing table. So static routing table is created, maintained and updated by network administrator manually. That is the most important thing in static routing. So here one static route for every network must be configured on every router for full connectivity. So with using this, you can directly providing the granular level control over routing, but that is a impractical one for the large network. So that's the concept of the static routing. So must remember important points here. Static routing table is created, maintained and updated by a network administrator manually. Second one, that is known as a dynamic routing. So what is the meaning of dynamic routing here? So here dynamic routing table is created, maintained and updated by a routing protocol running on the router. Again, the most important difference between the static routing and dynamic routing is that static routing is maintained by the network administrator and dynamic routing is maintained by a routing protocol running on the routers. So which one is the example of the dynamic routing? So first one, that is known as a RIP. RIP means routing information protocol. Second one, that is known as a EIGRP, that is the enhanced interior gateway routing protocol. And third one, that is known as a OSPF, open shortest path first. So these all are the examples of the dynamic routing. So up to this, whatever the discussion, that is totally regarding the concept of static routing and dynamic routing and what's the definition behind the static routing and dynamic routing. After that, what's the advantage of the static routing? So here you just see what's the advantage of the static routing. So first advantage, that is the CPU and memory overhead, that's the minimal. So that's the most important thing here. Second one, no bandwidth overhead. Why? Because whatever the updates in a routing table that are not shared by the different routers. So that is the no bandwidth overhead. That is the most important advantage. And third advantage, that is the granular control on how traffic is routed. So these all are the advantages of the static routing. Second one, what's the disadvantages of the static routing? So again you just see, first one, if you changes the infrastructure, so whatever the infrastructure changes here, you must be manually adjusted the infrastructure changes. That is the disadvantages of the static routing. Second one, no dynamic fault tolerance. For example, if a link goes down, so no dynamic fault tolerance that's supported by the static routing. And third important disadvantage, that's the totally impractical on large network. So these all are the disadvantages of the static routing. After that, dynamic routing advantages. So dynamic routing advantages. So first advantage, that is simple to configure on a large network. That is the most important thing. Dynamically select or choose a different route if a link goes down. That is the second important advantage. And third one, you can directly apply the load balancing between the different link. So that is the advantages of the dynamic routing. What's the disadvantage behind the dynamic routing? So here you just see, first one, The disadvantage, that is the most important disadvantage, whatever the updates are shared between the router, that directly consuming the bandwidth, because all of you know in a static routing no sharing is there. In a dynamic routing, the whatever the updates, you can directly share the update, so that directly consuming the bandwidth, that is the disadvantage number one. Second one, routing protocol put additional load on router CPU RAM. And the third one, if you choice of the best route, that is totally based on the routing protocol, not based on a network administrator side. So this is the disadvantages of the dynamic routing. So after that, this is the one comparison between the dynamic and static routing. So these all are the features. So must remember one thing. First one, that is according to the configuration complexity. Second one, require the administrator knowledge. Third difference, that is the topology changes. Fourth one, for example, if you apply the scaling. Fifth one, how you apply the security in dynamic routing and static routing. Next one, that is the resource usage. And last one, that is the predictability. So these all are the differences according to the dynamic as well as the static routing concept. So after that, classifying the routing protocols. So must remember one thing here. If you classify the routing protocols, that is divided into the different groups. Different group according to the purpose, according to the operation, and according to the behavior. If you categorize the routing protocol according to the purpose, so mainly two important points. One, that is the IGP. Second one, that is the EGP. So that is the interior gateway protocol and exterior gateway protocol. Second one, according to the operation. Whenever you apply for the operation, so mainly three categories for that: distance vector, link state, and path vector. And according to the behavior, that supported the two. First one, that is the class full, and second one, that is the class less. So again I repeat, if you categorize the routing protocol into three categories: first one according to the purpose, second one according to the operation, third one according to the behavior. Let's start with the one by one in a detail. So here you just see first one. For example, if you talk about the IPv4 routing protocol, so here you just see one example, that is the RIP version 1. So RIP version 1 supported which particular category? So that is IGP. All of you know what is the meaning of IGP: interior gateway protocol, distance vector, class full protocol. Whenever you talk about the RIP version 2, that is the interior gateway protocol, distance vector protocol plus classless protocol. So version 1 and version 2 supported the one difference, that is the class full, that is the classless according to the behavior. Whenever you talk about the OSPF, that is the IGP, link state, classless. And whenever you talk about the PGP, that is the EGP. EGP means exterior gateway protocol, path vector, and classless. So this all the concept of the classifying the routing protocols. So here you just see one diagram for that. So dynamic routing protocol is divided into two parts. One, that is the IGP, second one, that is the EGP. IGP again divided into two parts: distance vector routing protocol and link state routing protocol. And exterior gateway protocol is divided into path vector routing protocol. Distance vector again divided into two parts: RIP version 1, RIP version 2, and IGRP and EIGRP. And whenever you talk about the link state routing protocol, that supported the two. One, that is the OSPF. What is the meaning of OSPF? Open shortest path first. And what is the meaning of ISIS? That is the intermediate system to intermediate system. And path vector routing protocol supported the BGP. BGP means border gateway protocol. So up to this, whatever the discussion, that is totally regarding the classifying the routing protocol. After that, talk about the concept of the IGP and EGP. So that's the last point for this particular session. So let's start with the concept of EGP. Again I repeat, all of you know what is the meaning of autonomous system. Autonomous system, that is a collection of routers under a common administration. Common administration means either you can put the company or put the organization as a common administration. So autonomous system is also known as routing domain. Must remember one thing, examples of autonomous system, either you put the company's internal network or you put the ISP network, that is the part of that. The internet is totally based on an autonomous system concept. So here you just see two types of routing protocols are required for this. So one, that is the IGP, and second one, that is the EGP. So let's start with this. First of all, talk about the IGP, then after talk about the EGP. So that's the last important point for this particular session. So here you just see interior gateway protocol. So interior gateway protocol used for routing within an autonomous system. So that is also known as a intra-AS routing. Again I repeat, interior gateway protocol is also known as a intra-AS routing, and all of you know the concept of intra-domain routing. So either you go for the intra-domain or you go for the intra-AS that supported the same concept. So one, the companies, organization, and even service provider, that's the example of this. Protocols for the IGP. Either you put the RIP or you put the EIGRP or you put the OSPF or you put the ISIS. So these all are the examples of the interior gateway protocol. Next one, exterior gateway protocol. So what's the logic behind that? Again, used for routing between an autonomous system. It is also referred as inter-AS routing, and that is generally used for large companies. And the most important protocol name for this, that is known as a border gateway protocol. That's the example of exterior gateway protocol. So that's all about the today's session. Must remember one thing here in today's session. First of all, talk about the intra-domain and inter-domain routing. Then after the talk about the static routing and dynamic routing. Then after talk about the classifying the different routing protocols. And the last important points in this, that is the IGP and EGP. So that's all about the today's session. Thank you for watching.